said nobody ever. My name is Heather Walker. My pronouns are she and her. My land acknowledgement here today includes honoring all the peoples and their lands and their land that were my family history on Turtle Island. My UU nanny, Ferry Walker, homesteaded here in 1905, arriving from Kansas, displacing the Shawnee and many, many other peoples there. Already, the Shawnee were already removed through trickery and any means necessary, that was a quote, from their traditional territory west of the Ohio River. Oh, so my family could settle there. That history is vague after that. But the Walker family came to the United States through the Toronto area, originally from Kingston, displacing the Cataraqui peoples. My mother's family, after occupying the breadbasket of the Huron people, claimed traditional territory of the Ojibwe First Nations. And some of this family were Orangemen, and I wonder if they were aware of the struggle of the Orangemen against the Métis people in Manitoba. So we are here near Mohkinstsis, the Niitsitapi, name for the place where the Bow and the Elbow rivers join. The signing of Treaty 7 on 22nd of September 1877, I like that part, signifies that we share legal and implied responsibilities to live into the promises made by that treaty, by those who came before us, including the Niitsitapi, consisting of the Siksika, Piikani, Kainai First Nations, as well as the Dene First Nation people, the Tsuut'ina, and the three bands of the Îyârhe Nakoda nations, the Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Goodstoney. We are also in relationships with the Otimisawa Métis government of the Métis Nation within Alberta, District 5 and 6. I apologize for all the mistakes and omissions that this land acknowledgement has, as I learn and relearn and honor truth and reconciliation. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Mariana Louise Kovar, and a member of the Worship Arts team, and I'm your service leader this morning. This morning's service was created by Calgary Unitarians Women's Circle, and it's in honor of Women's Day, which is occurring on March the 8th. Why women's rage? The author of the book, Rage Becomes Her, tells us that men usually associate feeling powerful with angry feelings, whereas women usually associate powerlessness with anger. For generations, women have been told their anger is unbecoming. We need to be quiet. Today, we celebrate the women and all others who have raised their angry voices against injustice in its many forms, demanding better of and for us all.
The women's movement in Iran has a history of more than 100 years, and this will be the 45th anniversary of the Women's Day protests in Iran that were triggered because Khomeini promised that the women that they would not lose the freedoms that the women's movement had gained, and he broke his promise. This song that I'm singing was written in September of 2022 during the protests that were triggered by the death of Mahsa Amini. It was inspired by a hashtag that was going around Baraya, which means for the sake of or because of. So the idea was that every tweet would be the answer to the question, why are you protesting? And so every line starts with Baraya. And you may be surprised that you actually recognize the last line of the song because it was in the news several times, translated as Women, Life, Freedom, Zan Zendegi Azadi. The song also mentions intellectuals in jail, poor people, so the hijab is just a symbol of solidarity with the women's movement as it was 45 years ago. This song is not just about being able to wear what you want to wear, it's about equality, democracy, secularism, and freedom. برای توی کوچه رقصیدن، برای ترسیدن به وقت پوسیدن، برای خوهرم خوهرت خوهرمون، برای تقریر مغز ها که پوسیدن، برای شرمندگی، برای بی پولی، برای حسرت یک زندگی معمولی، برای کودک زباله‌گر آرزوهاش، برای این اقتصاص دستوری، برای این هوای آلوده، برای ولیعصر درخت فرسوده، برای پیروز و احتمال انقراضش، برای سگهای بیگناه ممنوعه، برای گره های بیوقفه، برای تصویر تکرار این لحظه، برای چهره‌ای که میخوانده، برای دانش آموزا، برای آینده، برای این بهشت اجباری، برای نخبه های زندانی، برای کودکان افغانی، برای این همه، برای غیر تکراری، برای این همه شورای تو خالی، برای آور خانه های پوشالی، برای احساس آرامش، برای خورشید پس از شبای طولانی، برای قوس‌های سبب بیخوابی، برای مرد میهن آبادی، برای دختری که آرزو داشت پسر بود، برای زن زندگی آزادی، برای آزادی، برای آزادی، برای آزادی.
I am Lisa Gasson-Gardner, she, her, and I'm a member of Women's Circle. This is a chalice lighting for challenging times. Why a flaming chalice? The question comes. It's the cup of life, we answer. A cup of blessings overflowing. A cup of water to quench our spirit's thirst. A cup of wine for celebration and dedication. The flame of truth. The fire of purification. Oil for anointing, healing. Out of chaos, fear, and horror, thus was the symbol crafted. Thus was the symbol crafted a generation ago. So may it be for us in these days of uncertainty, sorrow, and rage, and a light to warm our souls and guide us home.
If every woman in the world had her mind mind set on freedom. If every woman in the world dreamed a sweet dream of peace, if every woman of every nation, young and old, each generation, held her hands out in the name of love, there would be no more war. If every man in the world had his mind set on freedom, every brother stood with brother as a witness for peace. If every woman of every nation, young and old, each generation, held his hands out in the name of love, there would be no more war. If every leader in the world shared a vision of freedom, if every leader in the world shared a sweet dream of peace, if every leader of every nation worked for justice and liberation, held his hands out in the name of love, there would be no more war. If every nation in the world set a true course for freedom, if every nation raised its children in a culture of peace, if every sons and all our daughters reached in friendship across the waters, refusing to be enemies, there would be no more war.
Hello, I'm Courtney Rosewald. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm also a member of the Women's Circle. And I will be doing our Time for All Ages today, reading the classic, The Paper Bag Princess. So the words won't be up on the screen. I'm going to do my best to match my pictures to what I'm saying. Hopefully it all works out. Okay, so we can go to the next one. Elizabeth was a beautiful princess. She lived in a castle and had expensive princess clothes. She was going to marry a prince named Ronald. Unfortunately, a dragon smashed her castle, burned all her clothes with his fiery breath, and carried off Prince Ronald. Elizabeth decided to chase the dragon and get Ronald back. She looked everywhere for something to wear, but the only thing she could find that was not burnt was a paper bag. So she put on the paper bag and followed the dragon. He was easy to follow because he left a trail of burnt forests and horses' bones. Finally, Elizabeth came to a cave with a large door that had a huge knocker on it. She took hold of the knocker and banged on the door. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Well, a princess. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." He slammed the door so fast that Elizabeth almost got her nose caught. Elizabeth grabbed the knocker and banged on the door again. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Go away. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." "Wait!" shouted Elizabeth. "Is it true that you are the smartest and fiercest dragon in the whole world?" "Yes," said the dragon. "Is it true," said Elizabeth, "that you can burn up 10 forests with your fiery breath?" "Oh, yes," said the dragon. And he took a huge deep breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 50 forests. "Fantastic," said Elizabeth. And the dragon took another huge breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 100 forests. "Magnificent," said Elizabeth, and the dragon took another huge breath. But this time, nothing came out. The dragon didn't even have enough fire left to cook a meatball. Elizabeth said, "Dragon, is it true that you can fly around the world in just 10 seconds?" "Why, yes," said the dragon, and jumped up and flew all the way around the world in just 10 seconds. He was very tired when he got back, but Elizabeth shouted, "Fantastic! Do it again!" So the dragon jumped up and flew around the whole world in just 20 seconds. When he got back, he was too tired to talk, and he lay down and went straight to sleep. Elizabeth whispered very softly, "Hey, dragon." The dragon didn't move at all. She lifted up the dragon's ear and put her head right inside. She shouted as loud as she could, "Hey, dragon!" The dragon was so tired, he didn't even move. Elizabeth walked right over the dragon and opened the door to the cave. There was Prince Ronald. He looked at her and said, "Elizabeth, you are a mess. You smell like ashes. Your hair is all tangled, and you are wearing a dirty old paper bag. Come back when you are dressed like a real princess." "Ronald," said Elizabeth, "your clothes are really pretty, and your hair is very neat. You look like a real prince, but you are a toad." They didn't get married after all. The end.
Hi, all. My name's Breton. I just want to say thank you for everyone who's brought this service together. It really turned into a collective power of all the volunteers, music. So just, thank you for everyone who's contributing. Thank you for everyone who's here, present. I originally I was going to do a reading by Rupi Kaur, but I wasn't feeling the inspiration from her this week. It's a hard week. It's a hard time to be alive right now. It feels like the world's falling apart and we're watching, and we have to rely on each other in this time. It's impossible to stay quiet anymore when we see injustices all around. And so I was seeking a source who can inspire the words that I couldn't come together with. So I came across a poet, an artist, named Liane Al-Hussein, who is a Palestinian Kuwait artist who lives and works in Dearborn, Michigan. She is a young woman, and so I just wanted to carry her words today for a poem that are called Letter to the Unborn and Letter to the Unliving. So just bear with me as I do this. So, Letter to the Unborn. Rami Habibi, I will tell you about consent, about not touching others without asking and not letting others touch you without assenting. I will tell you about the patriarchy. I will tell you that as a man, if you identify as one, you have even more responsibility to smash it. Rami Habibi, I will tell you about Palestine. I will tell you that as you grew in my womb, I also held the Chaza of Gaza there. I will not tell you that some were dead and some were alive. I will not tell you that I hope you will save us all, myself included. I will not tell you that every day I see us marching into the apocalypse with you at our lead. But I will tell you that the purple lightning and the turquoise tidal waves, the plasma screen bright forest fires, and the split legs in the air earthquakes, the crawling vine nooses on the monuments of men, and the navel-shaped cyclones anchored by iron-chained cords, are the souls of the indigenous, back for what's theirs. Baby Rami, That's only half of it. I hate to break it to you, but your father is Lebanese. Our tears are lava. Our hearts are active volcanoes. Our souls are so bullet-ridden that we can't sleep from the starlight the constellations heap upon us. Our pupils have not stopped dilating since the First World War. I will not tell you that it is you who will put us to sleep, my baby. It is you who will rock your father and feed your mother. We were dehumanized before being born. It is us who have last names that built the waiting rooms at airport security and the faces deemed untrustworthy without a fresh shave and a fake smile. It is you who will humanize us. You who will soften our outlines to strangers. Who were Joseph and Mary without Jesus? Just two Arabs. I will tell you, we love our Lebanese mountains and Palestinian hills so deeply that they mistook us for stones. We were so identified with the olive and cedar trees, they thought us inanimate, unalive, a land without people. They didn't realize that to us, the two are interchangeable. Not only do we know the land, but the land knows us. We are the land, and the land is us. Its holiness and grime cannot be dispelled from us. That's like asking a pine tree to spit up the very seed it came from. That's like asking me which cell of yours I first grew. When the truth is, you were projected all at once, dead before you were alive, autonomous before you were ever mine. Love your mother, and inshallah your friend, Layan. Letter to the unliving. My grandmother, Sitadkul Tata Salima. They exploded the home you were forced to leave, the home I never visited, never fell asleep in before you could cover me with a blanket. Gaza is a tombstone. The sea is a silent witness. I got my sweetness from you, the sweetness they mistook for weakness, the sweetness that decays teeth and rots insides, that leaves gaping holes where trespassers can come in. You're lucky you're not alive to see this. It's only us the New York Times characterizes with murderous fury, not our colonizers, not the guests we took in sweetly, saying, no, no, stay another night. Of course you're tired after the Holocaust. They get to be the victors of history, the winners of the Sadness Olympics. We put date-filled sweets on their plates and covered them with powdered sugar. They put us in open-air prisons and danced in front of the prison bars. Savages, while they tucked a strand of hair behind your ear. Dirty infidels, while they tore your laundry down from the clothing line and prepared to move into your house. They had cut your water supply, so your hair was greasy and the laundry had been hung up to air without being washed. You did, in fact, feel like a savage, feral and unclean by their design. You were the grandfather of a general, a man who wore a velvet green uniform, and built a house of stone at the gates of Jerusalem. You'd burn sage and camphor to keep the horse stalls clean, and you'd never had a rat infestation before this one. They told your father, the freedom fighter, that his weapons shipments had arrived. He was going to take back the laundry line, redraw the borders of Palestine. When he arrived to the alley to collect the shipment, there was a tank blocking his path. He was shot dead. They all were. The stones remain their silent witness to this day. A talisman, worn smooth by time and etched with serpentine numbers and letters, sinks to the bottom of a spring that has never forgotten its name. It holds the magic spell for freedom. It lands behind my navel and is baptized by my amniotic fluid. I am of you, and you are of the same land as the Virgin Mother. Our holiness has survived this genocide, this time. Love your granddaughter in this life, and inshallah in every life. Leanne.
Hi there. My name is Jennifer Allure. I go by she and her. I'm going to try my best to talk my way through this without panicking over my breath, so bear with me. As a spiritual community, how can we work with rage? When we think about moments of our own anger, how did it reveal itself? Was it loud and flashy, or was it a turbulent, fuming silence? Where did you feel it in your body? Did it feel ugly, chaotic, cathartic, maybe even beautiful? When avoided, ignored, or repressed, anger will find a way to leak out of us in unexpected and destructive ways, often causing damage to ourselves or those around us. But for all of the ugliness we attach to it, rage can be a clarion call to change. Rage rises up when boundaries are crossed, our own or the boundaries of those we love. Rage rises up when we experience or witness injustice. Rage rises up when our hearts have been broken. Unacknowledged rage can be chaotic and destructive, but when we accept it, allow the feeling to just be without reacting, it can be a tool of transformational change. Using love as a guiding light, expressed anger can be channeled into fierce compassion, and shared with community, it can move mountains. Today, we would like to take a moment to explore that transformation, participating to the level with which you are comfortable. In your seat pockets in front of your chair, you'll find a piece of paper and there's assorted pencils about. Feel free to trade the papers. Some of them are pretty, some of them are plain, so. We invite you to take some time with these papers and reflect on the things that have brought rage or anger into your life. Maybe it was a time when you had a disagreement with a loved one or a political decision announced in the news. Perhaps it was an act of injustice that you wanted to correct. While Gavin and Breton play for us, we invite you to write your rage down on paper, feel the beat, the rhythm, and write those feelings down, giving them exposure to sunlight. At the end of the song, after a brief countdown, you'll be invited to rip that paper into shreds, move that internal emotion into physical motion. While it may feel foreign on a Sunday morning, I do invite you to use your voice as you wish while ripping that up. Yell, scream, or express yourself however you choose. And this is an opportunity that if noise bothers you, please cover your ears at the end. So please, as we listen to this song, please feel free to write down your rage on your piece of paper.
I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. My mother's child is a savage. She looks for omens in the color of stones, in the faces of cats, in the fall of feathers, in the dancing of fire and the curve of old bones. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. My mother's child dances in darkness. She sings heathen songs by the light of the moon, and watches the stars and renames the planets, and dreams she can reach them with a song and a broom. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. Out of darkness into this world through blood and through pain, and deep in our bones the old songs are waking, so sing them with voices of thunder and rain. We are our mother's savage daughters, the ones who run barefoot, cursing sharp stones. We are our mother's savage daughters, will not cut our hair, we will not lower our voice. We are our mother's savage daughters, the ones who run barefoot, cursing sharp stones. We are our mother's savage daughters, will not cut our hair, we will not lower our voice. We are our mother's savage daughters, the ones who run barefoot, cursing sharp stones. We are our mother's savage daughters, we will not cut our hair, we will not lower our voice.
Write down your rage, and I'm going to invite you to rip those up and make as much noise as you can while you do so. Woo! Woo! Excellent. Awesome. And at the end, if you want to save your rage bits, we're going to have this little rage bag at the back of the room to collect your rage bits, used for a potential future art project by the Women's Circle. So we ask yourself, in what ways can you direct your rage into action? What actions will you take to right the wrongs? What hopes do you carry for change, for a better future for your children? Please consider lighting a candle of hope as an action of hope.
We light candles each week to acknowledge that we come together seeking community. We come to share and explore the big questions in life. We come to find welcome and comfort. We come together to share the events of our lives and to deepen our connections with one another. We take time to honor milestones, joys, and concerns in this beloved community. We will light our candle of joy in honor of hope this morning, because hope is always a good thing, and we have much to be hopeful about. And there are always those among us who have concerns and challenges. And we light a candle for those concerns and challenges with the hope that being in community will lighten that load. We'll light our global candle this morning. Sorry. The trouble with getting rid of rage is that rage just covers up the pain. And so I shouldn't have ripped it up. Should have waited. We light this candle, this global candle, acknowledging that women and other marginalized people around the world are being denied rights that others have been granted. May many voices continue to call for justice and equity, and may we just stop all these foolish wars that destroy families and hurt everyone on both sides. So I invite you now to, if you wish, come and light a candle in the sconces on either side, or to put a pebble in the water bowl.
That is not what I do. I ain't no damsel in distress. And I don't need to be rescued. So So put me down, punk. Wouldn't you prefer a maiden fair? Isn't there a kitten stuck up a tree somewhere? I am not an angry girl, but it seems like I've got everyone fooled. Every time I say something they find hard to hear, they chalk it up to my anger and never to their own fear. Imagine you're a girl just trying to finally come clean, knowing full well they'd prefer you were dirty and smiling. And I am sorry, but I am not a maiden fair. I am not a kitten stuck up a tree somewhere. And generally my generation wouldn't be caught dead working for the man, and generally I agree with them. The trouble is you gotta have yourself an alternate plan, and I have earned my disillusionment. I have been working all of my life, and I am a patriot. And I have been fighting the good fight. And what if there are no damsels in distress? What if I knew that and I called your bluff? Don't you think every kitten figures out how to get down, whether or not you ever show up? No, no, I am not a pretty girl. I don't really want to be a pretty girl. No, I want to be more than a pretty girl. You can join in and sing this if you want with me.
Is entirely self-governed by democratic process. And one of the privileges of our free church tradition is to provide all of the financial support for our many ministries from among ourselves. Generosity, therefore, is one of the spiritual values that we recognize as central to our personal and our institutional well-being. You are now invited to participate in the blessing of giving as the ushers come among you to accept the gifts of the congregation. If you give by one of the many electronic or pledge options that are available, I invite you to take a moment to silently honor those gifts as you pass the basket along. If you are visiting with us, your presence is a gift. Feel free to let the basket pass by. We are fortunate to be able to share part of our monetary gifts with others who share our values. The four others recipient for the month of, where are we, March? For the month of March is Skipping Stones. The Skipping Stone Foundation is a Calgary-based not-for-profit organization whose mission is to support and empower trans and gender-diverse youth and their families in the province of Alberta. They offer a wide range of community, educational, and medical supports for the trans community. The offering will now be received. What,
If you have not already done so, please just meet in the Barker room to pick up your stewardship packages so that you can arrange to pledge towards the stewardship.
So here's the beat. Yeah, sorry about that. Gotta keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gotta keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gotta keep across our borders. Reach across our borders. Reach across our borders. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gotta reunite the family. Reunite the family. Reunite the family. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gotta keep on moving forward. Gotta keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Our chalice lighting this morning is by Jim McGaw. Go in peace, seeking justice. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go in mindless oblivion. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go without challenging yourself or others. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go in utter ease and comfort. When I say go in peace, I mean go in peace, seeking justice. I mean go in peace, committed to equal rights and opportunities for all. When I say go in peace, I mean go in peace that is created when together we build communities of true solidarity, deep compassion, and fierce, unrelenting love. Go in peace.